In the whimsical world of the monsters, there lived a little creature named Labubu. He had big, curious eyes, long floppy ears, and a mischievous grin that could melt even the hardest of hearts.
One sunny morning, while playing hide-and-seek among the giant mushrooms, Labubu overheard a faint, desperate cry. He followed the sound and found a tiny bird, a fledgling sparrow, tangled hopelessly in a mess of old kite string, caught on a high branch of a gnarled oak tree. The little bird chirped weakly, its wings fluttering in a panic.
Its mother circled anxiously overhead, her calls filled with distress.
Labubu's heart ached for them.
He knew he had to help, but the string was strong, and his monster paws were too clumsy to untie the intricate knots. He tried pulling, but it only made the string tighter. He tried nudging the bird free, but it was stuck fast.
Frustration welled up in Labubu's chest.
He looked around for something, anything that could help. He saw sharp-edged rocks, but they were too heavy to carry up the tree.
He saw pointy sticks, but they weren't strong enough to break the string. He felt a pang of helplessness.
The little bird's chirps were getting weaker, and Labubu knew time was running out. He needed a tool. Something sharp. Something that could cut.
A thought sparked in his mind.
He remembered seeing the humans in the nearby village, using shiny metal things to cut flowers and trim hedges. They called them scissors. Yes, scissors. That's what he needed. With a new sense of purpose, Labubu scurried down the tree and raced towards the village, his floppy ears flying behind him.
He had to be quick, and he had to be clever.
Sneaking into the human world was always a risky adventure for the monsters.
They were taught to stay hidden to avoid being seen, but Labubu wasn't thinking about the rules.
He was thinking about the little bird. He darted from shadow to shadow, hiding behind flower pots and peeking around garden fences. His heart pounded in his chest, a mix of fear and determination. Finally, he spotted what he was looking for. A pair of garden shears, big and red, resting on the edge of a well.
They were much larger than he had imagined, almost as big as he was.
But he didn't hesitate. He scrambled up the stone wall of the well, his little claws finding purchase in the cracks. Using all his strength, he grabbed onto one of the handles. The shears were heavy. So incredibly heavy. He strained, his muscles trembling, and managed to tip them over the edge. They clattered to the ground with a loud clang. Labubu froze. His ears perked. Did anyone hear? He held his breath, listening. After a long moment of silence, he scurried down and began the monumental task of dragging the shears back to the forest. It was a slow and exhausting journey.
He pulled and he pushed, inch by painstaking inch.
The metal scraped against the dirt path, leaving a long trail behind him. He stumbled over roots and got tangled in weeds, but he never let go. The image of the struggling bird spurred him on. When he finally reached the old oak tree, he was completely out of breath. Hello, cow. The mother sparrow was still there, her cries more frantic than ever. The fledgling was barely moving now. There was no time to lose. But a new problem arose. How could he get these giant shears up the tree?
They were far too heavy to carry. Labubu sat down, his mind racing.
He looked at the shears, then at the tree, then back at the shears. Then an idea, as brilliant as it was simple, popped into his head.
He couldn't take the whole tool up, but maybe he could take a part of it. He examined the shears closely and noticed the big screw in the middle holding the two blades together.
He found a sturdy rock and began tapping at the screw.
Tap! Tap! Tap!
It was tight, but slowly it started to loosen. Wheat au final, determined whack. The screw came out, and the two blades fell apart. Success! He now had two separate, sharp blades. Each one was still heavy, but manageable. He grabbed one blade in his mouth, the cool metal tasting strange against his tongue, and started his climb. It was awkward and difficult. He had to use his paws to grip the bark while balancing the blade. He slipped once,
his heart leaping into his throat, but he managed to hang on. At last, he reached the branch.
The little bird looked at him with weary, frightened eyes.
"It's okay," Labubu whispered, though the bird probably couldn't understand. "I'm here to help." Carefully, he positioned the blade against the tightest string. He pressed and sawed back and forth.
The string was tough, but the blade was sharp.
One by one, the strands began to snap. He worked patiently, cutting each piece of string wrapped around the tiny bird. He had to be so careful not to nick its delicate leg or wing. Finally, with one last snip, the final string broke free. The little bird was untangled. It chirped, a sound of pure relief, and shook its feathers. It hopped a little, testing its legs, then flapped its wings, tentatively at first, and then with growing confidence. The mother sparrow swooped down, nudging her baby with her beak. They chirped to each other, a happy reunion in the high branches.
The fledgling then looked at Labubu, tilted its head, and let out a series of cheerful, thankful chirps before taking flight, circling his head once,
and then soaring away with its mother into the blue sky.
Labubu watched them go, a huge, proud smile spreading across his face. He was exhausted, his paws were sore, and he had a long way to go to return the two blades and put them back together before the humans noticed.